I got a question on the Discord today. Why are you selling your CoreWeave and buying Oracle? Well, I basically made a strategic move that I got two very depressed stocks. And if the scenario that there possibly has been an overbuild or a overcommitment to AI data centers, who do I think the safest is, and who do I think will have the best recovery from where they are now? And I made the decision that Larry Ellison with Oracle is in a better position than CoreWeave is, because I see CoreWeave as the least established, heaviest debt, and if in fact there is an abundance of AI, and people like Microsoft do in fact start renting out access to their data centers, who's going to come up on the short end of the stick? Whose margins are the tightest if in fact that scenario is correct? And that, to my belief, is CoreWeave. So in essence, I basically said, I got two stocks that, and I don't own any Oracle, but I got two stocks that I think will recover from where they are because of this scare. And which one do I think is strongest and will get the biggest bang for my buck out of the recovery? And so that's why I went to Oracle. And let me explain a little of my thinking. Oracle's established, CoreWeave is not. CoreWeave has yet to turn a profit. 45 years Oracle has been operating in a profit. They have built in an existing relationship. So if I'm a large company and I've been dealing with Oracle over the years, they've been providing me operational software. They have had access to my data for years. They have built the cybersecurity arrangements around it. And then I've got this unknown commodity called CoreWeave, who doesn't have a history, has never shown a profit, has not provided the cybersecurity that I'm accustomed to. Who am I going to stay with? And again, CoreWeave may come roaring back if in fact there is a shortage of compute, and they will get a premium for having it available. But again, my belief is the safest place is with Oracle in this situation. So to my tribe members, that's why I'm making the transition. Now, at the same time, I'm not going to move all of my money. I have about $100,000 worth of CoreWeave, a little over that, depending what the price is at any given day. I am in a loss position. I think I'm down about 4% on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the loss, and I'm going to move 60% of that into Oracle. And that'll be kind of my mental transfer and staying in the build-out section of AI. I'm then going to keep about 25% or 20% of it in cash for other opportunities. And then I'm going to move into or build up my positions in those stocks that I hold that are going to be in the delivery of AI, because that's where I think the future big money is going to be made. I believe it's in those companies like Zeta, who are using data that they have gathered through cookies to do honed-in advertising. They also did a joint venture with Palantir, so I feel strong with them. I've got some stocks. I've got some stocks in the real estate, in the banking, and other areas where, property and casualty insurance. And that's where I think the big change or the big money is going to be made in AI. And why do I think that? I think that because of the experience I've had. I believe I'm kind of ahead of the game in that I've built two AI agents, Samantha and Bard, and Samantha is my stock analyst. She basically, I feed her a 4.5 page prompt that is all built around what does a growth stock look like, and I modeled that off of Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA, and use them as my what does an adolescent stock look like, an infant, an adolescent, and then a mature. And I've created that prompt that then takes the data that's available on existing or emerging stocks and saying, what is their price going to be in the future? And that's how we, in the past 15 months, turned $668,000 into $2 million. And I think using that same methodology, we will be able to duplicate that over the next year as we move even deeper into the delivery. And as again, if I was able to do it sitting here in my basement and predicting the prices of stocks, what is a company that has a history in property and casualty insurance going to be able to do, or in banking and lending? What are they going to be able to do with the predictability in their businesses to achieve extraordinary growth in their revenues, which then translates into growth in their margins, which then translates to growth in their profits, which translates into what I'm looking for, a growth in their stock price. So that's what I've done. Again, that's a long way around why I'm selling CoreWeave and buying Oracle. 60% of my proceeds from CoreWeave will go to Oracle, but the other 20% will go to cash and 20% going to AI delivery. That's how we work. That's how we do our thing at Best of Us Investors. We are a company, a small company. There's only 3 of us, 4 of us now. We have a marketing director. And that's how we're serving our tribe, giving them access and more access to Samantha. So they know what I know and what Wall Street knows. But because of our nimbleness, we can move faster. I mean, think of it this way. If Goldman Sachs decided they wanted to liquidate their holdings in CoreWeave, and I don't know what their holdings are, it would take them months. I can do it in about 3 minutes. And then I can make that transition to Oracle in the next 3 minutes. So that gives us an advantage using the same tools they use, but on a smaller scale. So if you want to learn more about Best of Us Investors and the way I think and the way we manage money, go to the link in the description, go to our landing page, and learn more about our business. I hope that enlightens you some, because that's really my objective, is to make you a better investor by really only focusing on one thing. Know what you own. If you know CoreWeave and you know Oracle, you'll know what you want to own. Have a good day.